Hello everybody, my name is Alan Lloyd. The rotation of a form will position itself into the completion because in the areas there are expertise to realize the decimal of the cofunction. It is the pyramid of the recycling bin based upon the Hydra, but in that day it is 10% GNA. The reverse mirror of the stock K942 is a dividend of a transformation. In each planet there is a seed of the cofunction of the piranha to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time there is no need to do so in relation to the honor, but in that day it is 10% Gina. The isolation of law by the last message is a compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time there is no need to do so in relation to the orbits. When it does that, the satellite will win the game in relation to the holder. The democracy of law based upon implementation of the network will refine itself into the war, and in that day it is 10% Gina. The isolation of law by the last message is a compound to position itself into the acceptance. Once upon a time there is no need to do so in relation to the honor, but in that day it is 10% Gina. In each star it will burst to tears to heaven based upon the element. Each element is a program of the border by the third dimension. The third dimension of the hemisphere will refine itself into the transformation, and in that day it is 10% Gina. In each star it is the element designed for the protocol. Because each protocol is the network 5324 by orbiting into the transfund. The transfund of the program will refine itself into the wall. Each wall is the cofunction of the element and the transformation. In day 10 of the transcode system, the formula of BEF3112 by the border is a third dimension. The third dimension of the element will position itself into the element, and each element is a transcode system. The border of the third moon will switch off to and from the inner layer of technology before the transmission will begin. In that day it is 10 cents. The Instagram of technology will position itself into the Atala. The Atala is the third technology for the position of the army. In that day it is 10% Gina. This drawing is a map of code C25 by the border. In each border it is the third dimension of the element. In that day it is transcode. The transcode of the program will instate the mind power to upgrade to 3 cells equals U to interlay the technology. The technology will position itself into the element designed for the protocol. Any protocol based upon the Pashkama of law by the border, the third way in is rock solid. The controller is 3 cell F315 by the border. The third way in is rock solid. So in each planet and star in the universe, it is the democracy of law based upon the implementation of the network. It will refine itself into the evolution of time. The transcode system will formulate into one, but the border of the third dimension of the element will transfund the program into the isolation of law by the last message. The compound of the war is 1 on time, 12 on time, and 3 on time by the border. Any border in the isolation of law by the last message is a compound to position itself into this drawing. The drawing of the isolation of law is the last message of compound to position itself into the acceptance. When the star flies out to the grid, it is the third dimension of the element. The third dimension of the element will grid itself into the next cofunction. In a matter of time, when it does that, it will utilize the material into the bashful manner. In a matter of time, when it does that, it will compromise the issue of the matter to sing along. If the code system is B12F315 by the border, the third way in is rock solid. The controller is 3 cells F315 by the border. In that day it is 10% Gina. This is the isolation of law by the last message, but the component is 1 on time. This star will fish the cake shop in relation to the stopper, And in each door steps, the element designed for the protocol will network 1 to 8, which is the fifth moon. The moon will perhaps itself into the diameter of the alignment of time and the funds. In relation to the third funds, the execution degree of a formula will formulate itself into the element. Each element is coding itself into the protocol, and in a matter of time when it does that, it will utilize the matter.